Hey everybody, Argent here. So I had no intention of actually doing a video today, like a live stream, because frankly I'm kind of exhausted. I went to the CNE the other day and I was kind of out late, uh, eating, smoking some blood. And hey everybody, Argent here. So I had no intention of making a video today on this subject. I had really no intention of doing a live stream on DSP until the end of the month. But the problem with DSP and making rules about not doing live streams on him is the amount of bullshit that surrounds this man is as such that it's like on a daily basis pretty much that these things happen. So I just kind of been getting stuff together, and I figured at the end of the month I'll do a live stream and we'll just go over all the nonsense that had happened. The problem is a bunch of nonsense happened ahead of the nonsense at the end of the month. So it is what it is. So the big news that I think everybody's going to be talking about, and I haven't seen too many videos about it, so I wanted to get out front and get some nice clickbait out there. Let's make sure my door's closed. Is that DSP got hacked? Some people from Kiwi Farms got into his computer or something, and they hacked him. So it's kind of like the movie Kidnapped, but instead of being kidnapped, your kid hacked. Sorry, I'm kind of tired today. I was out late the other night, smoking a pack of blow. So we're going to go through. I have a couple videos. I have a couple images. So let's just start going through. And we'll see. Hat tip dipshit Phil R2.
I am dipshit Phil.
Like this video and subscribe.
So what happened? Why all of a sudden did my internet go out downstairs and then my internet went out up here when I was on break? Why did this...
Oh, okay. So by the way, to provide a bit of context. So apparently what happened is a couple of years ago, DSP was on some website called Shoryuken. I can't pronounce it. .com, which is I think a forum for fighting games or something. But he was on there, and he uses the same password for everything. And somebody found his old Shoryuken password, and they used his old Shoryuken password to access a bunch of other stuff. So people were going through like his credit card bills, his Amazon Shoryuken. Okay. His Amazon wish list, his chat logs. They went through a whole bunch of stuff and they dumped the leaks online. Now I got to do the irresponsible thing about of looking at it, which I guess is kind of a morally gray thing to do. I mean, on one hand, and here's kind of the issue. I've always been against people fucking with Phil in real life. I've always been very strongly against it. I think it's fucked up that people do stuff like this. And I guess you could say I'm fucked up for talking about it. But here's the thing with Phil, and this is the thing with everything he does, is he uses stuff like this to get money, and he films every aspect of his life and puts it online. So when this sort of thing happens, I kind of feel like you have a carte blanche to talk about it. Because, like, he said, I'm not going to mention Pandalee again, but then he just talked about Pandalee a bunch. And, like, this is a dude who unironically makes videos wanting his fans to praise him for cleaning his house. So I kind of feel it's fair to talk about it. I think it's really fucked up when people do shit like hack him. Or like go through this kind of stuff. At the same time, though, and I'm not defending the hacking. I'm talking about the information once it's released. This is a man who makes his public finances a matter of like it's a big deal. Like he talks about his finances all the time. He talks about how much money he owes on stuff. He talks about what his bills are, and he uses the amount of money that he supposedly pays in his bills as a way to elicit sympathy and to get people to give him money. So I think it is kind of fair to talk about it. So that's my attempt at a rationalization. So yeah, so Phil did that, and because of that, he got hacked. And we'll see what he has
The
to say
stream
about
go
it.
down. What was
Let me know
happening?
if the audio
Well,
bounce is okay.
here's what happened, folks.
Take a sip.
So a couple of days ago, I guess it was like 2-3 days ago, apparently one of these, websites that tends to dump like information from hacked websites and stuff like that. I think it's called Kiwi Farms, but don't get me wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know. But this is what I was told. I guess there was some random ass website over the years that I registered for. And when I registered for this website, I used a password. It was some gaming-related website. It was probably like you had to log into some gaming-related thing or make an account on there to do something in the game or something like that. Something dumb, right? And apparently, I registered for this random gaming website with a password that years ago, this password used to be the password I used for like everything, all right? Now, since I moved to Washington, I changed a ton of my passwords. In fact, I actually had
I think that was actually the password, Mr. Stupid One.
I had a scare a couple years ago where I kept getting notifications that someone might have had remote access to one of my email accounts. And at that point, what I did is I went into all of my emails, all of my YouTube accounts, my Twitch account, my Patreon, all of that stuff. And I made sure that all of those accounts had new passwords, everything was refreshed, okay? I went into all my credit card accounts, all the important stuff, my bank account, and I changed everything.
Changed everything.
So, I did so. I changed everything. All that information was changed or whatever. However, there were a few things that apparently I completely forgot about, namely really ancient stuff. Like, we're talking stuff from, like, before YouTube, some of it, all right? Some websites that over the years I registered for and never ended up using or used once or twice, that all apparently still use this password, okay? Also, sadly, and this is my fault, when I moved out here over 3 years ago, apparently I used this password as the initial password to register for a lot of my accounts. All right, so for example,
What accounts?
The stupid Comcast business internet had this password, yet my regular
Okay, I'd like to pause again. Okay, so Phil claims to have 2 internet lines. Like, I just don't get it. Okay, so he has the business line and he has the home line. Why does he need 2 internet lines? I mean, it didn't make sense when he had his girlfriend living with him. I guess the justification was he used so much internet doing his bullshit that she needed to have internet too, so they needed a separate line. But now he's living by himself, so he's using 2 internet lines. I guess one is for like his personal use, like he watches porn on the personal one, and he uploads videos on the other one, and he can't like throttle the bandwidth. None of this makes any sense. He claims he spends $200 American plus a month on internet, which I don't know. It doesn't sound like the truth at all.
Comcast account for television did not. My regular Comcast account used a different password. So apparently I just, when I moved out here, I was probably so stressed out with the move and everything, I had a brain fart, and I started using this old-ass password as my password for a bunch of important things, like electricity, like water, you know what I mean? Like all the things that you would think are important, and I should have put in a new password, but I used this ancient password, okay? So,
Okay.
apparently when this happened a couple days ago, this password leaked on the internet, and it was the password, my name, so people assumed, oh, this must be Phil. So they started logging into things with this password. And apparently today, someone said, well, just for the hell of it, let's try to log into all of Phil's accounts with this password. And some of them worked. Not all of them. Like,
frankly, as I've said, that's pretty fucked up that people did that. It's, okay, you gotta watch Snort Brunel's version of the hack stories expose Phil's internet bills. Yeah, I might have that. I don't have that tab open, but yeah, that was on the list of stuff I was gonna look at. Let me see here. Like under my August DSP videos, I do actually have Snort Brunel's queued. I was just going through this this stuff, the background.
Like for example, they were trying to get into my Google, my Yahoo, all the different accounts that I have, my email accounts. They're trying to get into all of them, and they couldn't do that. I already set up two-step verification for all those. The passwords are all completely different from being the old passwords. So all that's fine. But, like I said, my bank account, I've long changed that shit. That's just all secure and fine. But for me, it was, stupidly, I had these utility accounts and stuff that were set up with this password. And so what they did a few things. First, they went into my AT&T account, and they got my cell phone number, which is hilarious because my cell phone number is already public. My cell phone number got leaked 2 years ago? Either 2 or 3 years ago, when I actually went to GoDaddy, okay? I went to GoDaddy and registered something through GoDaddy. I have no idea what it was. It might have been like the website registration. I don't know. But I had used, they made you list your cell phone number. So I listed my cell phone number, and they made it fucking public. They publicly listed the goddamn thing on the website. I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Why would you do that? Right? So they basically, my cell phone number's been leaked for like 2 to 3 years. And every once in a while, I get troll phone calls and troll texts and whatever. What can you do, right?
Okay, guys, just I'm gonna say this: don't text DSP. Don't call him on his home phone. He doesn't like. DSP's not a good person. Don't get me wrong, but leave the man alone. It's his personal phone line. It's fucked up if people call him and people text him. If you want to leave comments under his videos, fine. That's in the public sphere. But don't spam his email box with like you're a fucking child molester or whatever. Don't call him on his home phone. Stuff has to be private. Joso says that sounds like bullshit. This whole leaked cell number story. It sounds like bullshit to me too.
Well, they got this cell phone number and they put it all over the internet. People started calling it all day or whatever, right? I don't really care. That's happened to me before, all right?
No, that's
But then they got into the Comcast business account and they were able to find out the business phone number, and also they didn't have access to say things like, for example, my IP address, but they had access to resetting the modem. So that's what happened earlier today when we were streaming. They were sitting there, let's be a dick to Phil. And they were clicking reset modem. Okay? Bunch of fucking dicks. So that's what was happening during the stream. Then they went ahead and logged into other stuff and did malicious stuff. So what I basically had to do, for the past 2 hours,
his
is I had to
password
check all of my accounts,
Maria.
Every single account that I possibly have, to make sure that nothing was going to be affected negatively by this. From what I can see, it won't. From what I can see, everything's fine. I made calls, and they did. Let me put it this way: I'm not going to disclose exactly what they did, but they did try to do some malicious stuff to me. In one case, it failed. It didn't work because I had a special passcode set up on one account. In another case, it did work, but luckily.
I love how this man will tell you every aspect of his life, but he won't. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. He won't they try to do something to me, and he won't explain what it is. Whenever he won't give specifics, it probably means he's lying.
I had that set up, so any changes on that account, I get emails for it. And I saw the email and immediately called them, and let them know what was going on, and they fixed it. So to my knowledge, I'm good now. To my knowledge, everything's fine. Nothing of any importance is still using this ancient password that I don't use for anything anymore and haven't for 3+ years. Okay.
Okay.
It was just really annoying that I had to basically make phone calls for about 2 hours here. Going through.
Yeah, we're gonna watch King of Pol's video in a bit.
Just make sure that everything was all right. But now, basically, I checked on everything. I checked on, all my YouTube accounts. I checked on all my email accounts. I checked on all my utilities. I checked on, all my financial accounts are fine. I also checked on, cell phone. Internet's now secure. Everything's fine. All right. So basically, it was a pretty ridiculous troll attempt. Now, more than likely, let's face it, these people. It's funny because here's the other thing too. You say, I say, they got my business line, right? Well, they did, but guess what? It already was public. My business line has always been public. So some people have already called the business line and trolled me on the business line over the years too. So this is nothing new. It's just that now, for some reason, I guess people think because the phone numbers are public, today in particular, people are talking about it or whatever, that it would be funny to call, to prank call or whatever. It's just really stupid. It's just really stupid. So now I gotta decide: do I want to change my phone numbers or not? I could. It would be a hassle because if I change my phone number, now I have to notify everyone who actually contacts me about stuff that my phone number has changed. That would be a pain.
Oh, my mic was off that whole time. Oops. Okay, well that explains a lot. I'm just queuing up the yeah, so I'm just getting these other videos queued up. Let's just finish off his story.
In the ass, of course.
Doing that.
So I don't know. I'll think about what I'm going to do. But basically, crisis averted. It could have been. Let me put it this way. It could have been really bad if these kinds of places listed important information. All right. So to give you an idea, some of these websites obviously have my financial information in them, right? Luckily, none of these websites actually have the full financial data. Like anything that was set up for auto pay only has like the last 4 digits of the account. It doesn't have the full account number or whatever in it. So luckily,
why is he telling this information? Like, do we need to know? Is this a really good idea? He's like giving. He always does this. He's like, "Oh, it's YouTube's copyright system's broken. Anybody who doesn't like me can just go and claim this video. And if 3 people who don't like me go and claim this video that I have no recourse over, and if that happens, then I'm fucked. And I hope nobody will do this to me." It's like, Phil, why are you telling people?
they didn't get access to any of my financial info, which is good because that would have been devastating. If they obviously got access to a bank account or a credit card or something like that, that would have been awful. But luckily that didn't happen. None of these businesses.
Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm an honest person. I actually had an account of mine hacked once. It was my Xbox Live Microsoft account. Somebody hacked it and in the Czech Republic, and they bought, I think it was like $600 worth of Xbox gift cards with until they maxed out my credit card. And I called Microsoft and like, look, I obviously don't live in the Czech Republic. This person obviously hacked me. And they're like, yeah, Argent, we are going to make you pay for that. We'll refund you for that. Okay.
List that stuff because they know they'd be liable, right? Be like, someone got a password, so now they get all my fucking financial data. That would be horrible. So I think I'm good. I'm sure that they're gonna find more stupid trollish shit to do. I'm sure I'm gonna get prank calls or whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yes.
A bunch of fucking accounts from ancient years ago that I've long abandoned and never did anything with. I'm sure it'll all happen. And I really don't care. You're talking about stuff that's so old.
It's old
at this point that I've definitely moved on. The other day, people were posting up stuff from like that I had said in the 1990s and 2000s on like some forum or on IRC or something in like a chat. You know what I mean? Like, how stupid is that? Who cares what happened 20 years ago online? It was a much different era. I was a much different person.
Yeah, he was a less bad person, which is disturbing.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what happened. And, it took me 2 hours to get through it and call everyone to make sure.
It took like 2 hours to get through this explanation.
Everything was okay, but everything seems to be okay right now. All right. I actually was really nervous that they had gotten my IP addresses because I was like, if they got my IP addresses now, that means at any time when I'm streaming, they could shut down my modems, right? And what I would have to do is contact Comcast, have them come out here, bring a new modem.
Do IP addresses really never change? I mean, then again, I use, what's it called again? I use a VPN, so...
Yeah. We have to do the rigmarole where there's 2 modems hooked up at once, and you capture a new IP on a new modem, and then release the other modem. I explained how to do this 2 years ago when I had to do it, when I was getting DDoS attacked back then, okay? It's a really complicated, annoying process. So, yeah, I wouldn't have had to do that, all right? I mean, I would have had to do that, and I don't have to. Luckily, thank God that just logging into, say, online doesn't give you access to stuff like, for example, access to my IP address or access to my financial...
Okay, that's really fucking boring. Okay, so here's some of the Kiwi Farms leak stuff. Alright, let's see here. So who knows how much of this is actually true. Let me just scroll down and see if they have any of this. Okay, so this is DSP's bill payment history. So this is... I don't know, if somebody knows how much he says his electricity bill is each month, let me know. So his electricity bill looks like it's on average, I don't know, like $120, $130 a month. So I don't know how much he claimed it was. That seems like okay for an electricity bill. That doesn't seem that expensive, especially given the giant ass house he lives in. So I don't really get that. If somebody could maybe say, okay. Savage Lars says, I don't think he's ever talked about it. Okay, so let's see here. We have some other... This is like the worst. It's really hard to read through this. Just the way they have this set up. Let's see here. Now, I don't believe this. I think this is a joke. I don't know. I think somebody thought this was real, but this is obviously a joke. So this is the DSP wish list. Yeah, like they spelled it with 2 I's, but it's still pretty funny. Quarterback cuck, cuckold renegotiated, gout tea, and gout in you, gout relief cream. That's pretty funny. Let's see here. I don't know what this is exactly. Okay, that's his phone number, I guess. Quick fill, run and get the phones. So use the lostphone.com website. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's see here, a comment from the chat. I'm certainly not ad-friendly, and I get like 10 videos flagged a month on DSP Gaming. Yet KO Gaming, which is ad-friendly, had half the videos demonetized. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? What is this potted plant thing people keep posting pictures of? Let me just see here. Oh my god, this thing is so hard to read. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to the good stuff, but it's just the way it is. Okay, so here is where we're getting into the good stuff. So DSP apparently has what's it called again? A holding company that he uses called DSP Enterprises. So he set up a company and he uses that to get his loans and stuff like that. To get his business loans. He claims here that he has engineers who work for him, and it's really weird. To be fair, though, and we'll look at what King of Pol said about this in a minute, but it doesn't really seem that weird to me that he has a company set up. I thought about setting up a company myself at one point in time, like a limited liability. You could set up a sole proprietorship just for the sake of taxes, or for the sake of I don't know, getting business loans, or I don't know, or there's certain commercial or legal protections you can get if you set up a business. So I don't really think it's that bad, to be honest. There's a lot of people who have sole proprietorships, or it's just them and their wife or something, and they incorporate just for certain financial and legal reasons. I don't pretend to understand it, but I could see like there being legitimate reasons to do that. Who knows, though? He could be doing it to scam them. So this is supposedly true. I'm going to take this whole thing with a grain of salt. The problem is it's hard to tell what's real and what's not, because DSP's life is a fucking Kojima game. So, yeah. Hello, Phil. Thank you for contacting Comcast Live Chat Support. My name is Kirk. Please give me one moment to review your information. Thanks for choosing Comcast Business. This is Kirk. How can I help you today? Hey, Kirk. I hope you're doing well today. I'm having some problems with my business internet today. Could you do a remote reset? And I've been asked by our engineer on site here at DSP Enterprises for our IP address. Not sure what it is. Okay, so there's There's DSP Enterprises, and he claims that he has an on-site engineer. What the fuck is that? I apologize you're having issues with your service. I'm happy to get this resolved. Great, thank you. Let's see here. This is a bunch of just really boring stuff. My engineer is reminding me about the IP address. Okay, great. On behalf of DSP Enterprises, we wish to thank you for your continued support and help with our communication services. Have a great day. Let's see here. Okay. So, we have that stuff. What's this? So yeah, so it turns out DSP has a holding company or a shell company, and he pretends that he has a team of engineers who work for him. I don't know. But, I mean, you can register for a company. I mean, that's not illegal. Okay, so DSP Enterprises. Okay, so that's his... I'm sorry to give away his address. Okay, so he claims that he lives in an office building that's called DSP Enterprises. What the fuck? Oh, and then that's the joke version. Phil's Cut Club. Display information. Okay, let's see here. What's this? Oh, it's not going to let me read it? Fuck that. I want to see what it says. Oh. So that's his Comcast business service. So he claims he spends more than $200 for his business internet, which he lied about. Now, here's the question. Did he say, maybe someone in the chat, did he say he paid $200 a month for his business internet? Or did he pay $200 a month for both of his internets? Because I'm not really sure. Because it could still be over $200 a month for both of his internets. But otherwise, he was lying about this the whole time if he said just his business internet. Okay, then there's his electric and gas bill, which actually doesn't seem that expensive to me. For his giant-ass house. Okay, then you have his ring, which he got for Leanna. So green amethyst. That's funny because Chris Chan's ring is an amethyst ring, which he calls amethyst because he can't pronounce it. So cushion cut sterling silver. So it's $137, and they're attacking him over that. Now, to be fair, I mean that is kind of cheap. Okay. Ben Dover says that he pays more than $200 a month just for his business. How do people know what his bills are? Because he talks about it. I know this is weird, Scudum. It's hard, like, for a normal person to understand, but he will talk about how much his bills are on stream. He'll be like, "Hey guys, my internet's $200. I'm gonna need bits for that." So yeah, so he didn't spend much money on that ring. Now, to be fair, if you don't have a lot of money, just a nice plain silver band would probably be fine. But yeah, it is pretty... Someone should discover how much mortgage is. Well, I forget who it was. Someone was pointing out that what they should have done was find out how much he made on YouTube. That's really what we need to know. Okay, I don't believe that that's real for a minute. That's obviously fake. Mr. Stupid One. Bonus material?
Hey, it's Bitchute Channel. We get. Oh, it's a
Penny. Phil's a beggar.
Okay, let's see here. I think there was like one or two just other things before we get into what's his name. Just a couple more snort banals.
This fella played the game.
I don't know, bend over. I don't believe that that's real. That that's actually his Amazon wish list. I just can't believe it.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Although, bad news, I had to move the bamboo out of the office. Remember I bought a bunch of bamboo plants and put them in the office? Yeah, they didn't like the air conditioning. Bamboo does not like air conditioning. They were in here for about 2 weeks, and I noticed that they started to wilt and that they started to have, like, on the stalks of the bamboo, they were starting to dry out. I was like, oh shit, and I moved them into my bedroom, and now they're fine. They got better. So they do not like the air conditioning blasting next to them. I had to move them out of here. But the other plants are fine. My spider plant is actually blooming. It has these little cool flowers that are blooming on it every day.
I have a
to
spider
prune it soon
plant.
because the vines of these flowers are getting out of control.
Out of
The other
control.
plants are doing good. They're doing good. But no, I'm not gonna, I was thinking about getting some cactus. Like a couple cacti.
Oh my god.
Because I think those might be okay in the office, but I didn't like what they had across the street at the grocery store that's across the street. It's like a variety store. They have plants, they have everything, you know. But they didn't really have too much good stuff, so I was thinking of making a trip to Home Depot or Lowe's and seeing what they have. They have some cactus or something for the inside.
Why is he
For
talking
air
about
purification purposes in
this?
the office, so.
Alright, so Dark Viking did a 10-bit cheer and he says, can I ask you how much you need to pay for internet? I understand if you'd rather not. This is completely off the top of my head. Alright, this is not 100%
Oh my god. Okay, let's see here.
accurate.
I believe that the internet line that I actually have in the office here, the business line, if I remember correctly, is, I want to say it's around $200 a month.
Uh-oh. He said he'd like to think it was around $200 a month. But, okay, so he did say that. Okay, I just want to say for everybody here. Okay, he said just for his business line is $200 a month, but it's actually $130 a month. We just saw the physical bill. So he inflated it by like 50%. No, over like 60%.
I could be wrong.
He
It
could be wrong.
more.
It could be more.
I know for a fact.
It could be more. It could be like $250 a month.
that
What
I
a
get bill
fucking
from Xfinity
asshole.
That's like, not Xfinity, from Comcast Business. That's like $180 a month to $200 a month. Yeah. And it's that expensive for their business line. It's ridiculously expensive. But the good news is, unlimited data, no cap, incredibly fast speeds. You see the stuff that I'm able to stream. You know, if I wanted to right now, I could stream 1080p 60 frames per second, no problem. The problem is that Twitch can't handle a bitrate high enough to really handle that kind of a stream.
Look at how bad that looks. That is the worst fan art I've ever seen.
You know, that I would need to stream around 9,000 kilobits or kilobytes per second, whatever it is, in order to get that to look good, and they only allow up to 6,000. So that's why I don't stream 1080p 60 frames per second on everything that I do. But yeah, that's how expensive it is to get good internet here. And by the way, there's no alternatives. If you get normal Comcast internet, it's much cheaper, but there's data caps. And I would probably hit the data cap within a week. With the amount that I stream, I'd hit the data cap within a week. So I'd end up paying far more than what I pay now with overages and shit if I had a normal Comcast internet account. Yeah, and then downstairs I have just like a normal wireless internet
Why?
package, and that's for everything else. Like, for example, my television,
Why doesn't he just use them on the same internet? It doesn't make any sense.
my Blu-ray player, all apps like, for example, WWE Network, Amazon Prime, and my phone, obviously. That's all tied into the wireless internet that I have downstairs. That's just for personal use.
Okay, well, like, streaming video doesn't really take that much internet. Your phone takes very little I don't know, it doesn't make
So that's
any
much,
sense.
much cheaper.
I think he's
It's the
lying.
business line here in the office that's incredibly fucking expensive.
What do we got here? King of Hypocrisy did a 10-bit cheer. He says, Phil, you should sell Shitty Dick's branded condoms. Wow.
Get your kicks with shitty dicks. Yes, get your kicks with shitty dicks. Have a little jingle for a TV commercial. Shitty Dicks brand condoms, 100% guaranteed to keep the shit off your dick. Shitty Dicks condoms, now an exclusive cooperative sponsorship with Ballpark Beef Fry. 100% delicious Angus beef, Ballpark Beef Franks.
Shout out to Guitar Player, 1939, who just gave me a $5 tip. And he says, hey, Phil, I actually just got back from Belize last night. We went up there to help out at a children's summer camp.
Oh, here we go.
Belize.
Illiterate.
Where is Belize located? I am terrible at geography.
I would probably think that it's
Just off the top of my head, Belize is next to Guatemala. It is it's just this random British colony. Some people call it British Guatemala. I think it also borders Honduras.
It sounds to me like a tropical style climate. Watch it be like next to France or something. I
Next
have no idea
to
where Belize is,
France.
but good on you for volunteering and helping out. Guitar player, and thank you very much
Belize
for
is next to France. What the fuck?
One thing I want to say up front, all right? Incredible thank you to anyone in the past couple of weeks who has supported me here on the streams, in particular those who tipped me. The reason I say that is because I'm not even exaggerating. I've been saying this for weeks. I've been saying right now financially things are really tight and I'm in dire straits because of this bill that just came out of nowhere and I had to pay. And basically there's hundreds and hundreds of dollars that are missing now because of the stupid bill that showed up. That being said, your tips have helped me out tremendously. Earlier today, this is a true story. Earlier today, I was streaming Hellblade. And as I was streaming Hellblade, people were being very generous, and I got...
Oh, just a shout out, Sammy Hyde. I'm doing this video because you sent me that DSP hack stuff. So I decided I'd do a quick stream about it.
a lot of tips and stuff during the stream, so thank you to those who did tip. While I was streaming, I got an email from my bank telling me that my account balance was dangerously low and in danger of being overdrawn. So what I did is, as the stream ended, I took all those new tips that I had earned during the stream and immediately transferred them into my bank account. It takes about 1 business day, but I'm hoping it'll be in there tomorrow. If not, at the latest, it'll be in there Thursday. And therefore, hopefully it'll cover everything, you know. I don't think I actually have any charges or anything coming up, but just in case, seriously, like, you guys are awesome. Because I knew I was going to be in dire straits this month because of this stupid bullshit that came out of nowhere. So thank you for your support. And I will say this. Okay, I will say this.
Because I'm on the sky.
If you are watching tonight's live stream and you enjoy the daily live streams and you like the on-demand videos on YouTube, you want to see me continue to be able to do this, all right? The 3 ways that you can obviously directly support me tonight is cheering, subbing, and tipping. You will get a shout out if you do any of those, and you will get an on-screen notification if you cheer 50 bits or more, if you sub to the channel and click the share button, or if you tip me $2 or more, all right? But right now, in particular, I would really appreciate it if you were going to do one of those things tonight and you had the option to choose which, if you could tip me. Because, you know, any more additional in the next day or two that I can raise and transfer to the bank account to prevent overdraft would be great. Bank of America is a bitch. They charge $35 a pop for overdraft. It's ridiculous.
No fucking way. Okay, so we're supposed to buy that he's so close to poverty, he has no money in his bank account, but he went out and bought hundreds of dollars worth of plants and other shit for his house? What? It's just... I don't know. No, he didn't say he got them the same day. He said that he got, tips the same day. So for overdraft protection, now I'm going to be honest because I'm an honest person. I've never been in my life anywhere close to where my bank account is near depletion. That's partially just because my family's decently well off, but also I just am kind of an obsessive saver. I always try to save as large a portion of my paycheck as I can and invest it. And that's kind of my advice to you kids. Start saving early, start saving often, get a credit card and pay it off every month, build up your credit score so you get lower interest rates once you go to get a car or a house or something. But I digress. But no, really, like, how is he able to buy food? How is he able to buy how is he able to buy things if it's that low? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. He's obviously lying.
You know, it would be nice for me to say, oh, I have lots of money and you don't have to worry about this shit. It's not the case. It's not going to be the case.
Fuck you. You make more money than I do.
This is the situation I live in right now because of everything going on this year with YouTube, with me being single again, with all these changes. It's going to be rough for a while. I'm hoping in the next year or two, if I can hang in there and make ends meet, things will end up working out. But for now, this is the situation I'm in. So. Sanguinite says, being single should help me save money, not spend more. Yeah, that's true, except that there's only one income coming into the house now, dude. You seem to forget that when there were two people together, there's two incomes to help pay the bills, and now I'm paying them all myself. It's a little different. Yeah, some things went down. For example, gas cost went way down. Food cost went down. But it doesn't make up for the fact that...
Well, okay, just responding to what Boogie says, Argent's right, saving gets much harder when you get older and have adult expenses kicking you in the kneecaps. It's true, and as I've said, I live with my parents. I have to spend a fair amount of money commuting, but I don't have to pay rent, and I can normally eat here and stuff. But even so, what you do is you save your money, okay? Your living expenses aren't a lot. So you try to save the majority of your paycheck. Ideally, what you want to do is you do that, and you want to take some of your money that you're saving, and I think in America it's called a Roth IRA, or I forget what it's called. Anyways, your retirement accounts, and you want to invest it. I put my money into exchange traded funds. I've talked about this in the past, but I have it set up so every week it takes a portion of my paycheck, it deposits it into my exchange traded fund account, and it buys shares in them, and I just do that every week. And you just budget so that you base your income around the fact that a certain percentage, even if it's like 10%, of your net income goes into your investments every week. And over time that does grow. And if nothing else, knowing that you're not a week away, that you're not a day away from winding up on the streets is really helps you to sleep at night. If you have a couple $1,000 just stashed away for an emergency, then that's really helpful because like if your job just becomes unbearable and you have to leave, you're not going to wind up on the streets. DSP was in a very enviable situation. It's a very enviable situation he's in. He was in a high income, low expense industry. He was making a ton of money. He had a tiny condo that he had to pay for. That was all he had to pay for, and what he could have done is he could have gone and invested all that money. Can you imagine if DSP had paid off his debts, stayed in his condo, and shoveled all his money into stocks, exchange traded funds, index funds? There's all kinds of stuff that he could have invested in. And he talked about like buying a restaurant. You don't need to buy a restaurant. You don't need to buy a second house. There's plenty of investments out there that aren't going to be as flashy, aren't going to make you money as quick. But if you're at a point in your life where you're making a ton of money and your expenses are pretty low, you save the money and you invest it for when stuff changes. Sorry, I know this all sounds pretty obvious, and I'm kind of a broken record on this, but I just think it's important to always try to learn from Phil.
There were two incomes, and now there's one. Rune says, how is the process of selling my condo going? It's not going. It's not going to happen. I said a few months ago, they declined the short sale. They won't.
Now, I've talked about this before. What you can do is you can hire a property management company, and they'll rent out the condo for you, and they'll take care of all of that stuff. I mean, they will. They'll find tenants. They'll collect the rent for you. They'll do all that kind of stuff for you, and you just have to pay them a management fee. Now, occasionally, you still have to pay upkeep costs. Like if something breaks, you're probably liable for it. But you have to pay that stuff anyways. DSP had that stupid sewer bill. At least he would have had to pay that sewer bill and his mortgage. He'd have someone paying him rent. So let's say he's charging $1,000 a month for rent and his mortgage is, I don't know, like $800 a month. He probably won't make much money off of it, but it's paying down your mortgage, and you're getting more and more equity into the house. So, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, DSP has a high income. He's just very, very bad at using it.
Won't let me sell my condo in Connecticut. So I have two choices: either really tough it out here financially, or just don't pay the condo in Connecticut and let them default and foreclose on it, which means I'll have no credit for 10 years basically. And that's not a good idea, especially because the fact that here with this house, if I ever want to refinance this house or sell this house and get another apartment, I need to have credit in order to do either of those things. So
Well, just sell it.
that's why I'm so screwed right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's about Phil's Italian last name, if this is true.
Is the name that my family originated with in Italy. Down in oh my god. Silvano is the name that
Silvano.
A red swelling could be a weak spot or a sexually transmitted disease. Don't touch it with your face, Sonic, and see which it is.
Oh, actually, I can't show this because I'll get content ID claimed. Let's see here. What is this?
oh my god, excuse me. Just so you know, apparently I'm a Nazi. I am a pedophile. I am a thief. I am, let's see. I'm probably a killer, a murderer. Let's see what else. A beggar. Spreading my racist bigotry.
Let's see here.
The shorter hair probably would have helped significantly.
Oh my god, excuse me.
Yes, I am drinking the VA energy drink. So you'll probably hear some burps during the stream, okay?
Excuse me. Oh.
Okay, so Duderito is saying apparently people are looking at like 15 to 20-year-old IRC posting history and are posting it up as cheers. Congratulations!
Okay,
Good
so
for you.
I can't do this too much longer, so let's just watch the King of Pol video. Please go to King of Pol's channel and subscribe. He's a good guy. He does a lot of good quality content. There should be a link in the chat.
Hey everyone, just getting up and it's early in the morning, but I thought I'd talk about this a little bit before I head out. If you guys didn't know this, Phil recently got hacked. Somebody found his old account from shoryoucan.com about 13 years ago and found the old password to it and started trying that old password on different accounts, and he was able to get into his Amazon, he was able to get into his electric, his water and gas, his utilities, and his Comcast stuff, as well as a couple other things. A couple of things of note. Number one is Phil is in deep shit if people realize this. And I'm going to get into details why right now. He has a shell company, or at least it seems like he's holding a shell company. And you're probably asking, what is a shell company? A shell company is essentially speaking a front store or a fake front holder, so that you can either funnel money through or get advantages as a business advantages from when you're not a legitimate business. Okay, so a lot of people for a long time have been asking, how the hell has DSP been able to get 2 business loans and tons of this business stuff? Well, now we know. Phil has decided to make his business an account, and he's called his business DSP Enterprises, with his house and I think a P.O. box located in Washington as the business. Okay?
Business.
There's logs out there. I don't, again, these could be, it could be bullshit, but he's confirmed this stuff, so I'm just going to go off the assumption this is all true. There's logs out there now that were put up that show his conversations with Comcast and other people with the DSP Enterprises. Prime example number 1, he decides to let Comcast know that he has telecom engineers or engineers of some sort. He uses the terms, my engineers need you to do this and that with the IP address and blah 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 to do certain things. Okay, so he tells Comcast these types of things where he's talking about he has engineers and stuff like that. He also apparently has labeled the business a software entertainment tech company. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming he means software, and he's trying to sound really, really fancy to say that he uploads video.
A software entertainment tech company? I don't know. That kind of sounds... Maybe, like, you have to pick a certain category, and that was the closest thing. Once again, I could see there being reasons for incorporating.
Software entertainment tech company? Don't know. He's listed a couple employees under it, and so forth. Now...
Whoa, wait a minute. He lists employees? What the fuck?
And claiming he has employees and all this other shit. Okay? Imagine what he has discussed or given to banks to get these business loans. We know that he's not used DSP Gaming. He has treated he calls his business DSP Enterprises, and it's a startup tech company. That's what he's claiming. Okay?
Do we know that? I don't know.
And a couple.
I don't know if we actually know that. It seems like he's stretching a bit. I don't know. Maybe there's like some documents I didn't see. I didn't get that impression from the stuff I saw.
Other things
Once again, I could just be missing some of it.
And that he has a couple of engineers under him. Imagine the conversations he's had with the IRS for his taxes. He's probably getting a lot of incentives from the government for being a...
Wait a minute, that chat is not from DSP. It was the guy that was in his Comcast account? Oh, okay, well, that's true. That certainly could be true. I don't know. Once again, I'm going to add this to the title. Okay, take this whole thing with a huge screen as well. We don't really know because this whole thing just doesn't even make sense. He probably doesn't pay taxes. I've talked about this before. I don't really want to go into detail. But if your business doesn't make money, you don't pay taxes.
Small
and
business
his
owner.
business doesn't make
Or
money.
at least he has set it up to be that way. I don't know if there's an LLC out there or if he's gone through the legal channels to get this business all set up. I don't think he has because he has moved from Connecticut to Washington. And even though he has set up his business in Washington, I think that he just decided to label it DSP Enterprises, and that the fact that he talks in a professional manner is kind of a tip of the hat, if you will, to him for getting away with so much shit that he has. The reality is that DSP Enterprises isn't a real company. He doesn't have engineers, and he's not a software entertainment
Well,
tech
it
company.
could be a real company. No, it's not a real
I think
company.
you could get in trouble because that kind of conflates into a shell company, especially, okay, if you've used this fake company to get too big.
Okay, how does King of Pol not know that he doesn't have a real company? He could have a real company. I could make an own company. It's not that expensive to make a company, I don't think.
Those loans. Oh, that's right. He has a credit card under the business title. So there is a DSP Enterprises credit card that we know of. And the guy showed some of the stuff that Phil's bought. He showed the ring that he bought. It was like $137 for the engagement ring. That he showed a couple other things that he has recently bought with this DSP Enterprises credit card. So he's got a business credit card. Somehow, he was able to convince the banks that his small business needs a business card.
I don't see why that's so weird. I don't
again,
know. Maybe I'm dumb.
I don't know if this is legit. It could be he could have got an LLC and stuff like that, and he could be doing it right. But we all know. No, the reality is that DSP Gaming is not DSP Enterprises. And that DSP Enterprises is, in fact, not a real company. Particularly one where you start claiming that you have engineers, and when you start claiming that you are a software entertainment tech company. I don't really understand what he was thinking, but it just goes to show you that this guy has scammed the shit out of people to get business stuff, to get these perks. That's why he has the business accounts from Comcast. That's why he has the business loans. That's why he has the business credit card, and so forth and so forth. This guy...
Once again, I don't want to go too hard on this, but this is a lot of assumptions. This is a lot of kind of jumping to conclusions. This is assuming that everything that was dumped was real. And to be fair, is there any evidence that this is real? Is there any evidence that, people didn't Photoshop this shit. I don't know. I think there's a chance people could have Photoshopped it. It's okay. So that's is we don't know for sure how much this is real. I mean, I'm pretending it's real just because it's funny, but it's I don't know. Like, does DSP really buy cuckold porn books? I doubt it. I think somebody Photoshopped that. Is okay. So first off, we don't know if this is real. We don't know how much this has been Photoshopped. B, we don't know if like, is Phil really smart enough to do this? Is Phil really smart enough to scam the federal government for the better part of a decade with a fake company and scam all of these banks? Like are we really supposed to believe that Phil is like some tax genius, that he's like the Bernie Madoff of video games? I don't know. That doesn't sound like the truth to me. So, like, we're supposed to believe that Phil, who doesn't... Okay, he didn't buy the stuff on Amazon. The guy was showing he had control over Phil's Amazon account. Oh, okay. Okay, because it was presented, I think, like it was... Okay, so it's starting to unravel a bit. So we have the DSP. Okay, so A, we don't know how real any of this is. B, we don't know. I doubt DSP's that smart. C, we don't know that he doesn't actually have a company. I mean, is DSP Gaming a company? I mean, like, I don't get it. It's like, it's not DSP Gaming. Well, DSP Gaming, okay, well, DSP Gaming might be his brand, but DSP Enterprises is the company. I mean, a lot of companies have brands that are named differently than the company. Like, GM often just has GM. It doesn't always have General Motors Corporation. Sometimes it'll have, like, I think it's Burger King, maybe, that is owned by Restaurant Brands International. Like, a lot of things just have a parent company that has a different name, like a more generic name. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I don't know.
It's definitely some deep shit. Now imagine what somebody would do if they gather up all this information and they decided to contact the IRS, or they found out what banks
implying
that
so many
small
implications
businesses dealing with. Imagine that, because that is a scary fucking no-no. Because if especially the IRS, if feds start looking at whether or not you're a legitimate company or not, and they probably don't because he pays his taxes, right? And he probably gets incentives. That's another thing too, because he pays his taxes. He probably gets incentives from the government for some things that he does. I wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly.
Okay, but just imagine what would happen if the IRS or one of these banks decide to start snooping around and figuring out who this company is that's been doing their business with them for so long, and they find out that it's a shell company. I'm almost positive you can get into some serious deep shit for that. I don't know the legalities completely yet. I'm going to take the time this weekend and go over talk to this corporate lawyer guy. I'm going to pull up picking his brain, since I'm going to be doing the same thing or going to law school for that. But I would assume that there has to be some type of legalities when it comes to having a shell company and using that shell company to get business benefits and loans and credit cards and so forth. I mean, that's gotta be something.
I know people with small businesses that have business credit cards. They're not that difficult to get. It's I don't know, like, to me, okay, like, assuming this is all true, what it sounds like to me is DSP got the advice from a tax lawyer or something who was like, okay, incorporate as like a sole proprietorship. Okay, incorporate as a sole proprietorship and go through it that way, because there's like some perks, tax perks, and then there's the okay, so there's tax perks. You can get business loans probably at a better interest rate. You can get a business credit card. A lot of like the credit cards you get for business have better like rewards on it and that kind of thing. The small business the business tax rate is a lot lower than personal income tax rate. So I don't know. It seems like he's just kind of jumping to a lot of conclusions here. I mean, I don't know what the truth is, but it's I don't know. It just seems like we're going to we're going from, okay, there is some hack and some stuff came out, to DSP is like a giant tax cheat, and he's been running this shell company scam for years.
Alrighty, that's all I want to say on the subject. I think most of the doc stuff has been pulled down. Phil has kind of talked about it a bit, and of course the way he talks about it is he lied. The one thing the hacker should have done that really, really fucking saddens me is the hacker had one job, and that was to get into the Twitch and the YouTube and to show how much money he's made this year. That's all he had to do was take screenshots.
Okay, you know what? I don't know, because people are going to get angry at me, because whenever I talk about certain people, people get triggered. This was irresponsible for him to say. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to start suggesting that people... I don't know, I kind of feel like he's suggesting that, like, people report GSP to the IRS or something. I don't know. That's just kind of the way I interpret this, at least. Also, I don't know. Like, they just don't tell people to hack DSP's account, and I don't know. They're gonna say no, Argent. That's not what he was implying. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't his intent, but that's kind of, I think, what these things inspired
the amount of
people
shit
to
that
do.
he made this year. Because if he were to show that, it probably would have killed Phil's last remaining fans. I think that would have been it. They would have pulled all their money from Patreon. At least most of them would, except maybe Biter and a few others. But the majority of people who were giving him money would have stopped because they would have probably found out that he lied about multitudes of things where he claimed he needed the money and that he made more than enough, and that, you know, they would have saw the books, you know, and they would have seen if he was cooking the books, if you will, or if he was on the up and up. I personally believe that he's cooking the books, especially since he's got a fucking shell company, DSP Enterprises, and he's using that as a front to get business equated shit and business benefits and business shit like business loans and business credit cards. And he's also claiming he's got fucking employees to these companies and these banks and probably the IRS as well. I could only imagine how that fucking works. So I mean, somebody like that who is willing to go that far to con banks, con companies, and con probably the feds.
Okay. No, there's no way DSP conned all these people. He's not that smart. Remember when he was talking about getting a car and how easy they scammed him? He's been scammed in every business deal he's ever done.
Fucking lying through their teeth about what they make on the daily, and that it's just all a scam. So, all right, that's it.
Okay, everybody. So I think that's it for the stream today. So what did we discover about this? Absolutely nothing, to be honest. We didn't really learn. Is it real? Is it fake? Did this hack actually happen? We know DSP was hacked, and we know they fucked with his business, but yeah, I don't know, guys. Anyways, believe what you will. It is what it is, but I digress, and I'll talk to you guys